Hey, welcome to Jaws on Sports. Tonight, I'm Mike, as usual. Zach is on the other line. How's it going, Zach?
I'm doing great.
He's doing great. He just came back from Kane's Chicken. It's freaking amazing.
Yep, pretty good.
That's
Yep.
right. When it comes to the chicken places, Kane's is right up there. You know, they don't have anorexic chickens at Kane's. And of course, he's repping the soda right there. Outstanding.
Sweet tea.
Um, even better, sweet tea. I taught him well. It's good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, great. So tonight we're going to talk about UFC 288 coming up this weekend. A little bit about the NBA playoffs, and particularly Game One tonight of the second round with the Golden State Warriors versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Be sure to like and subscribe to Jaws on Sports. If we get enough views tonight, we might get over that magic 500 number for the duration of our total videos at whichever number we're up to now. So be sure you watch. Be sure you tell all your friends how freaking awesome these two guys are, and just enjoy. Here we go. So NBA playoffs, first round is done, and usually in the NBA there's a hierarchy of things. You know, teams have to kind of build up over time, and they get to a certain point, they move up again, eventually play for the conference championship or whatever. But it didn't used to be like this, where a number 8 seed could beat a number 1, which did happen. Milwaukee went down to the Heat. Um, don't particularly care for either team, but it was pretty interesting to see. Lots of these stars were getting injured out there. You know, Giannis was injured. That's one thing. If we look over to the top remaining seeds left in the Eastern Conference right now, you got Boston and Philadelphia had game one last night, and Boston didn't take advantage of another superstar, Embiid, being hurt. What'd you think of that?
Well, I mean, James Harden dropped 45. So that always helps when one guy can produce like that. It was a close game, though. I mean, if Harden missed, two more shots or so, they lose. So he just happened to play super well. But I don't know what they said was wrong with Embiid. I don't know if it was his knee or something like that.
I thought it was his foot. Maybe one of our millions of viewers can chime in with that. They've got more detail, but it's just, when one of the best players in the league is out, and with Milwaukee out, Boston should have a pretty good pathway back to the NBA Finals. But that's a game you had to win. And I was watching it there at the end. They had a 4-point lead with 30 seconds left, and then just couldn't close the deal. And Harden was a man.
Yeah. I didn't really watch too much of it. I kind of just watched the highlights, but um, sometimes you're just on, and that goes for any sport. You're kind of just not thinking very much, and you're just playing really well. So I think that's what he had last night, and might not happen again. They might lose 4-1. You never know. It's unpredictable. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah, you don't know.
he was the man last night. So
Yeah, usually in a 7-game series in the NBA, the cream will rise to the top, and uh, best team wins. But it's hard to tell. This
yeah.
particular season, who is the best team left? Look over on the other side. You got Phoenix and that crazy team out there in Denver.
Denver, I don't trust Denver at all. I really don't. The only team I feel okay about is the Lakers, and that hurts because I don't like the Lakers, but they have veteran guys that know how to win at this point in the season. I think that's what hurt the Grizzlies and the Kings was they didn't have that veteran presence there for the playoffs, like the Warriors and the Lakers do.
If
So
interesting about the Kings, if they can keep their core intact, Golden State's obviously not getting any younger, and I think LeBron is my age now, but he's still out there killing it, even with a bum foot, and that might be a problem in a tough series against Golden State. But if Sacramento, if they could keep these guys, these other teams, the lull of that evil AGE age catches up with everybody and puts you down at some point. So we'll have to see how that goes. I don't know if Sacramento is a cool city for people to want to go and live. I've been there a few times, but it was a long time ago. I don't know if I'd want to hang out there if I was an NBA star, but I'm not an NBA star, so just don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I mean the Heat are on right now playing. We haven't talked much about them, but Jimmy Buckets has been playing really well. I don't know if he's playing tonight. He rolled his ankle. I don't know, but I didn't even, man, I've been kind of out of touch a little bit with the NBA. I didn't even know the Knicks were a playoff team, but they won their first round.
Yeah.
But that's kind of over. I see them in Cancun, Mexico, a week from now, after the Heat take them down. So
yeah, I just looked it up. Jimmy Butler is not playing tonight.
they still will probably win.
Yeah, they probably will. They're just a solid team. When you think about recent vintage Miami Heat, you kind of think, well, yeah, whatever. LeBron and Dwayne Wade used to play there, but they've been just a very good team for a long time. They're kind of like the Baltimore Ravens in the NFL. For the last decade, they've been up there. They made the finals without Wade and LeBron. Obviously, they won some championships, but they're just a very well coached team. Eric Spoelstra, he doesn't get the credit he deserves. Solid all around. Of course, it doesn't hurt to have Jimmy Butler out there.
Yeah, I was just talking to my buddy 20 minutes ago, and I was saying, the 76ers, man, they messed up big time getting rid of Jimmy. He's one of the best players in the league, and he's one of the best in the playoffs, and that's really all that matters. So, I like the Heat. I like them at least winning this series. I don't know who they'll run into after that, but I like them. I think they play good basketball, and I think they'll take the Knicks down. I like Jimmy Butler. I hope he gets a ring.
I like to see him get a ring. Yeah, I like him.
I like him a lot. But just because I like someone doesn't mean they'll win the whole thing. So
that's a good point. Solid reporting there.
I think a team in the West will probably win this year, though. I do.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. The game starts tonight, game one of the second round with the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. It's kind of a battle royal with these two teams. Lots of veterans on there. Golden State has guys that were in the wars versus LeBron's Cavaliers going back a few years. They met in the finals. What was that? 4 years in a row.
It's weird how kind of getting old a little bit. That was their first series, I think, was 7 years ago.
Now. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Makes you feel pretty old thinking about that. But it's kind of like Clemson, Alabama, those couple years in college football when it was them every single year, and you couldn't look away. It wasn't boring. Sometimes you get bored seeing the same teams play, but when those two met, you watched because it's always high level. So it'll be interesting to watch the Warriors. I think the X factor is 30. Steph Curry's too good. He's good for 40 every night. He might not get there, but he's good for it every night. He can get there. It's just a matter of role player guys like Kevon Looney playing well. And
Yeah, Jordan Poole's been kind of off and on this year. He had a hell of a season last year.
Klay Thompson hasn't even been that good, but
Yeah.
they have other guys that can pick it up for him. So
If history has told us anything, it's that the Warriors are the team that can flip that switch. Okay. And it's not just because it's playoff, it's game to game. And they sure did it in game 7 the other night. But this is going to be fun. LeBron is injured. He's got the bad foot. I mean, you can't say enough about the dude. In my opinion, he's the best of this generation. Sometime we'll have the Gels on Sports NBA greatest of all time debate, but not tonight. Obviously, LeBron's great. He's got the stats and the rings to show for it. This is a huge thing to ask for to beat Golden State. And I think it's going to come down to what Anthony Davis can do. If he could play like he did the last month of the season, then the Lakers should win this series.
Well, my thing with the Lakers is if one of their two stars is off or not 100% and playing to the best they can, they're not going to do anything in the series. They need everybody to be playing at their best. And if they can't get to that point, they don't have a chance.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I do think the X factor in this series is old Draymond Green, who's usually the X factor. And it's not because he's going to score a bunch of points, but just this is a dude that does all the dirty work. He's kind of like the enforcer out there in the NHL. Okay. Now, the thing is, he's got that reputation as a kind of a dirty player. And so we've seen in the past his team get hurt when he got flagrant fouls called and ejections and suspensions and stuff like that. This is going to be a polarizing matchup with the Lakers. Lots of emotion out there. It seems like this should be the conference championship instead of the second round.
Yeah, I mean, I like physical basketball and guys beating each other up, but Draymond, he's just annoying. He's a pest. That's what he really is, and that can get into guys' heads. You're just playing at the gym, and all it takes is one good play or one steal or shoving a guy or whatever, and they'll start thinking about you instead of basketball, and that's where he gets you. He's not a great player by any means. He's not.
He's not, but he's the straw that stirs the drink with Golden State. And we see what happens when he isn't there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
Now, if Steph gets 40 and Klay Thompson scores 28 points in the third quarter, you can't beat him. No. Yeah, that's just how it is.
Yeah, he can stomp on it whoever he wants. It's not going to matter.
Exactly.
Even if only one of those guys is on, it's hard to beat the Warriors because on for them means they got 40 points.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
yeah. So I here's what I think about this series overall. We as basketball fans need to appreciate it because, Steph Curry's 36, LeBron's 38. Both those guys have an awful lot of miles on them, and they probably don't have a whole lot left. So we don't know if we're going to get another playoff series with them. And then with LeBron, he might be someplace else next year anyway. Who knows?
Don't care at all. I could care less. I'm not pitying over LeBron James and his receding hairline. Michael Jordan's better. LeBron sucks. I'm just kidding. LeBron's really good, but I'm just annoyed of him by now. It's kind of weird because I didn't like Tom Brady growing up, but towards the end, last 5-6 years, I started to like the guy and appreciate him. I don't feel that way with LeBron for whatever reason. I hope he burns. I hope he sucks.
You don't have to like LeBron, and I'm not a huge LeBron fan, but I respect the hell out of the guy because of his sustained excellence. and he's extremely reliable out there. He hasn't been injured too bad, and he's never missed a whole lot of games. Now, the last couple seasons, he's been out more, but looking at the big picture, he's always been there, and he makes his team better. So, all that said, I do think Anthony Davis is the key for the Lakers in this series. LeBron might be out there with a cane and a cast on his foot by game 5, as far as we know. But ultimately, this is just the second round. And, it's looking more and more like whoever wins this series is going to have to play that pesky Denver team. Yeah. Not a whole lot to say.
I don't like the Lakers, but I'd like to see them win just so we could watch Jokic get shut down by Anthony Davis for 6 games. I think that'd be funny to watch.
Yeah, that'd be funny. I agree.
I wouldn't want the Lakers to win, but it'd be funny. I don't like these dudes. Oklahoma City's the best team in the NBA, and they're going to win 8 straight championships, not next year, but after
that. What did you have in your cane sandwich there tonight, buddy?
I'm just kidding. I'm optimistic.
They do look good for the future, the Thunder.
Yeah, man. Hey, they're I don't think they'll really win a big shiny trophy or anything, but they're gonna do some damage. I think they'll be contenders for sure.
Well, I think next year they're at least I think they got a great shot to win a playoff series.
Yeah, I think that's where they'll be. I think they'll get to some conference championship or something like that. Probably that's probably their ceiling, but I think they got it going for them. I think they have a good future. So.
Okay. Where's that there? Geez, it doesn't seem like it should be May already. It just doesn't seem right. Heck, I don't know where February went. But anyway, I don't know what day or time it is, but we're going to pivot over to UFC 288 this weekend. Sterling versus Cejudo. We got a bantamweight title matchup. I've got kind of about this with Henry. Keep in mind that dude was a 2-division champion, walked out of the UFC. I'll break down more about what I think about that later. Has not fought in 3 years. He comes back in and bam, he's got a title shot.
Terrible. And the reason I say it's terrible is because the bantamweight division is not dead at all. Bantamweight is probably the most exciting division. There's guys ranked 25th in the bantamweight division right now that could be a champ in 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really talented dudes, and he has no right to jump them at all. I mean, I'm not trying to short him on his accomplishments or his height, but I mean, the guy, he's cutting in line of all these guys that are really good. Guys like Corey Sandhagen, even Song Yadong, who fought last Saturday.
Yeah.
Really, really good guys. And Rob Font, these studs. And he's coming back. He retired. He used that as leverage, to try to get a better deal, and nobody cared.
Okay.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No, you kind of hit on the head what I was going to talk about with Henry when he retired. Okay, so you're talking Olympic gold medalist wrestler. Okay, when he came to the UFC, he had some hiccups. He actually lost. He was the golden boy, but whatever. But somewhere along the line, he started knocking people out, and he was dominant his last, I think, 4 fights. And including that knockout win over one of our favorite guys of all time, Dominic Cruz, his last time out. And that hurt my heart. But the thing is, Henry, he thought, hey man, I'm Conor McGregor now. He started doing the WWE like promotions, calling out Dana White, calling out everybody, saying he's going to do this. He actually showed up one night at All Elite Wrestling, which is another, not WWE, but this other thing started about 4 years ago. All decked out in gold sequins and stuff. He wasn't a wrestler, but he was part of the team. Paige Van Sant was there too, and so was the great Andre Arlovsky. I don't know how he fit into that, but so I mean, the guy tried to call his own shot, but the problem was in this weight class, it's not golden, okay? And Henry, he's about 5'4", I think. If he was 5'9" and a lightweight, okay, maybe.
Well, my
But
only
that's
thing
just
is
how it is.
the guy. I mean, you can't deny he's talented and really good, but he's not a draw.
No,
You
he's
know,
not.
nobody when he was champ was like, "Oh, I can't wait to watch Henry Cejudo." No, so he retired thinking he was that guy. And I remember watching Dana in the back before he put the belt, or after he put the belt on him, and he said he's retiring, and Dana just looked at him, the funny face, like he didn't care.
No, he
And
didn't.
bantamweight has been better ever since he left. No one cares. He's only back because of his merit from the past. He hasn't fought in 3 years, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, 3 years.
Um, so I hope. I mean, Aljo is one of the best in the world right now. Beat Peter Yan, who's had a rough stretch of tough fights, but he's still one of the best.
Mm-hmm. TJ
And
Dillashaw.
yeah, he beat up Dillashaw. That guy's good, man. That's a really high level fight. I don't like Cejudo. He's so it just aggravates me because it's not that he's a bad guy. It's just there's guys that have been working and working so hard and have risen through the really tough division
Mm-hmm.
um, that bantamweight is, and he comes back after 3 years and just gets a red carpet to the title shot. I don't like that very
Yeah,
much.
I can imagine because, like, here, let's go back in time a little bit. For a long time, Demetrius Johnson was, and actually he still is in a different promotion, probably the best flyweight of all time. I think you can't really argue that. Um, but here he was, all these title defenses, and nobody cared. He wasn't highlighting, headlining pay-per-views. He wasn't a big name. Um, there's something about the or the lighter weight divisions at the very bottom of the UFC weight classes that it just doesn't ooze, you know, it factor or anything. You and I are looking forward to this fight because it's a great fight, and the bantamweight division is stacked, like you said. But they're not going to get a million pay-per-view buys on this. They probably won't get 500,000. Now, you and I don't get a piece of that, so don't really give a rat's ass how many buys they get. But that goes to show you that because Henry has this name value as Olympic gold medalist, two-division champion, he's making this return after 3 years. He gets to skip the line and get a title shot.
Yeah. To fans that have been watching the sport for a long time, this really excites you. And the little guys are always more exciting because they have good gas tanks and they beat each other up. You know, I think they're more fun to watch. Some people love the big heavyweight guys that just swing at each other the whole time.
Yeah, they're
But
gasping for air after 3 minutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and fans of this sport. It's a lot of people aren't fans of UFC. I get it. I get not wanting to see people punch each other, but we are those people that want to see that. So I'm very excited for this fight. I hope Sterling knocks Cejudo's head into the fifth row. I don't think he will. It's going to be a really competitive fight. I could see it going 25 minutes for sure. But if I had to pick a winner, I think I'd say Sterling. If he doesn't get a decision win, it would probably be by sub. He doesn't have a I mean, he has TKOs with ground and pound, but he's never knocked anybody out. So I think he'd have to tap Cejudo. And it's going to be interesting if it's a striking battle, because sometimes that happens where their grappling is so good, kind of like Usman Covington when they fought, that they just beat each other up on the feet. So I'm excited for it. It should be a good fight.
Yeah, I think that, I have picked against Sterling going back, let's see, Dillashaw, Jan twice, Corey Sandhagen, and Pedro Munoz going back to, good grief, 4 years ago. And the guy just doesn't lose. I'm looking at his stats right now. The last fight he lost was in 2017. So,
yeah, he
keeps bringing it. You and I were at your house in Springboro watching the first Peter Yan fight that was the DQ, and Sterling won the first round, and Yan was just kicking his butt until he needed when he was down. DQ, and I thought, okay, when these guys fight again, Jan's going to dominate 5-round decision or finish him in the third or fourth round, but absolutely not. That's not what happened. And then with the Dillashaw fight, so Sterling has won my respect. Not that that's worth a whole heck of a lot, but he's definitely earned it. And this is a classic case of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu versus the highest level wrestling. And, will those two cancel each other out and it gets into a striking battle? Cejudo, has those heavy hands. I think he can win by knockout. I don't think that Henry can win by decision.
I don't think that Aljo is going to make a stupid mistake, because if he was one of those guys, he would have lost by now to a dude like Sandhagen or Jan. I don't think he's going to do anything dumb. He's not going to put himself in danger. But either way, it's going to be a fun fight. And, I give my opinion on things, and I'll probably be completely wrong. But either way, I'm just excited to watch it.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fun. So, we got about 7 minutes left. Let's take a look at the co-main here. Our boy Gilbert Burns is back.
Yeah, third fight in 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, he's prolific. He comes back. He beat. Geez, that was just on the 8th of April when he beat Masvidal.
Yeah, he's a crazy man. He's awesome. I think. I don't really like Bilal Muhammad. I think he's a dork. Doesn't mean he's not good at fighting, but he's such a boring fighter, which is funny for me saying that. But I hope Gilbert Burns rips him into pieces, takes his arm off with the arm bar or something. I can't stand that Muhammad guy. He's just so annoying. And we all love Gilbert Burns. Everyone's cheering for Gilbert Burns. Even Bilal Muhammad's mom's cheering for Gilbert Burns. So I hope, it'll be an interesting fight. I think it'll be more striking, because if the main event is, two guys really good on the ground, this is the same fight, but Gilbert's better at striking. And if Bilal thinks he can take down a world champion jiu-jitsu guy like Gilbert and just have his way, he's mistaken.
Yeah, I'm looking at Muhammad's. He got knocked out by Sean Brady last time. I don't really remember that fight, but unanimous decision. UD. No contest. Unanimous decision. Goes on and on and on. And I respect to be in the octagon, because I wouldn't get in there against these guys. But you want to see submission. You want to see knockout. You want to keep the fans involved, and that's why I like Gilbert Burns here.
I think Burns is much better in striking, but Muhammad, You know, he got a TKO last time out, and it was against that Brady guy who wasn't
Yeah.
very. I mean, Brady was good, but a little rushed, I think. But I like Gilbert in this fight. He can win however he wants to win.
Mm. Yeah. This will probably. You think this is a title eliminator?
Oh yeah,
Should
especially
be.
if Gilbert wins,
Mm-hmm.
because he has beaten Wonder Boy, um, Masvidal, Neil Magny, and then Muhammad. I don't know his rank, but he's a top ranked guy. You can't deny him after that. You got to
Yeah, I
give him a
think
shot.
both of these guys are top 5.
And you know, Gilbert, he had Usman on the ropes in their first fight
Mm.
until
Yeah.
the change. So
Yeah.
um, it'll be a fun fight. I'm pulling for Gilbert,
Me too.
and I think he does win.
Yeah, I'm going to take him. I don't think he's going to take him out because Muhammad tends to have that plotting pace, and there'll probably be a lot of clinch work up against the cage, um, lots of control time. But look for Burns to get, I'm going to say 49-46 unanimous decision.
Yeah, that's right. Is it 5 rounds?
Oh, wait, hold on. No, it's co-main. My bad.
Okay.
No,
Well,
I got him 2-1 there.
the interesting thing we haven't said a word
29,
about though,
28. Yeah.
this is a short notice fight.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks, I believe. So that could also play a part. I think Gilbert's fine because he just fought, but who knows what shape Muhammad was in 2 weeks ago. Um, so that's something to look out for.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, both these guys. Wait a minute. Muhammad fought back at least the last fight was October. What are you talking about? No, Gilbert fought 3 weeks ago.
I know. I'm saying look out for him not being in great shape. Because
Oh, I
Gilbert,
got you.
yeah, because Gilbert just fought.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
All right. I was just looking for a place to try to correct you. That's all.
Yeah, your big head is looking big today.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's the only one I got. Um, yeah, I could crush it, make it better. We just got a few more minutes left. The third fight on the card, women's strawweight. Jessica Andrade, she's back. Uh, she's been champ at strawweight. She's been fighting at flyweight. It seems like she's beat just about everybody. Um, it's kind of a gatekeeper type. The winner of this fight will be in line for a title shot.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be interesting. I think, well, Yan Zhao Nan, I think that's how you say her name.
Yes.
She got brutalized by one of the most boring fighters in the world, Carla Esparza.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Jessica's going to knock her head out of the cage. I could care less who wins that fight, but
Yeah,
you know,
Jessica is extremely powerful at 115.
yeah.
And you remember what she did to Rose some years back? She freaking power bombed her, knocked her out, won the title. She lost the rematch, got beat up at flyweight by Valentina. Everybody gets beat up by her, but I've got Jessica winning this. I'm going to say third round TKO.
Don't really care too much about the fourth and fifth fight there. Charles Jourdain's fun to watch. Gracie, that's a big name in combat sports. The two fights that are really interesting to me aren't on the main card.
We got oh man, we're down to a minute.
Drew Dober, Matt Frivola, fight of the night. They're gonna beat each other up.
Looking forward to that one.
That's gonna be the best fight. And then Kennedy and Zechiku. He's like 6'6" or something like that. He's huge. And Devin Clark, those guys will just block punches with their head.
Yeah, light heavyweights.
So those are two fun fights.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun card. We can talk about it next week and talk more about where the NBA playoffs stand at that point. Be interesting to see what happens this weekend. I think the card is in New Jersey, so hopefully they get some good pizza. That's where the best pizza in the world is. Yeah.
that's another thing. All Joe's from there, so should be his home crowd. And
Well, there you go. It's his home crowd.
yeah, just got to get the job done.
All right. Well, hey, folks, this was Gels on Sports. Be sure you like and subscribe. It's great to talk to you tonight. Zach, good to see you, buddy. You shaved. Man, that's one handsome SOB.